So, remaining in Western Europe for another 6 minutes and 40 seconds. There, I'm giving you the answer. Let's next welcome Professor Gary Austin, who's been teaching in the College of Art and Architecture since 1991. Gary began taking a group of the University of Idaho students to Italy in 2000, and during these visits to Europe, he became to realize how advanced the cities there are with regard to sustainable development. Landscape architects and urban planners in such cities as Stockholm, Copenhagen, and Oslo are making local efforts to solve a global problem to aim to achieve carbon neutral cities within just a handful of years. Today, Gary will give us a sneak preview of his book in progress on sustainable urban development, which will eventually help American architects catch up with their European counterparts. Please welcome Gary.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No notes.
Do you have notes on this slide?
No. Oh, I did, but that's okay, I
Looks
guess.
like those ones didn't port over.
Okay. That's fine, as long as the others do, that's okay.
All right. So you press that green button.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here and would like to talk to you today about the green capitals of Europe and the sort of the challenges that America has. I visited 8 of the 10 capitals. These are competition winners, and I collected photographs and examples of sustainable development projects and techniques studying the political and the social conditions and the policies that foster them. Annually, major European cities compete for the title of the European Green Capital, and they compete in these 12 different categories. We'll touch on a few of those today. In this image, you can see high-density development paired with a high percentage of open space, which is unusual in American cities. Through sustainable development, we may address a number of contemporary challenges, perhaps the most important of which is climate mitigation and adaptation. Perhaps the most important challenge, Jeremy, I'm sorry, this is the wrong presentation. It should be this small.
This is the last one that I have.
It should be a 16 megabyte small.
This is what I have for you.
That's not what I downloaded on Monday on that laptop of yours.
This is,
Okay,
yeah, I'm so sorry, but this is what I have today.
all right.
If you press the green, it'll get you back.
So there are a number of challenges that we face, including the global warming, species extinctions, extreme heat, water scarcity, destruction of tropical corals, and also dislocations due to sea level rise. The Europeans are able to develop programs with very low CO2 emissions, in part because of disaggregated energy facilities. This is a neighborhood that has an energy plant where pneumatic tubes collect combustible material and organic wastes and then convert those into fuel. Copenhagen is able to achieve its low emissions by connecting 98% of the buildings to a district heating system. This is very much more efficient in terms of carbon emissions and very much lower in cost than the United States model. Europeans in the capital cities move around more differently than Americans do, and we'll have to make changes as in infrastructure and in housing density in the United States in the next few decades. Rush hour in Copenhagen involves thousands of bicycles and very few automobiles. In the example on the left here, you can see that infrastructure is the key to increasing bicycle and pedestrian use in the Spanish example. In contrast, Spokane is striving to meet 1% bicycle ridership. Sustainable development has also contributed to the positive quality of life in terms of privacy, security, affiliation, in these kinds of amenities, including light into multi-story buildings. This example is in a Stockholm neighborhood. Sustainable development also requires a concentrated planning effort that's coordinated between the municipal and the county agencies. This one shows open space systems that protect species that are endangered in Sweden. This is an example of a landscape that was degraded by agricultural use and then restored by the city, and now provides flood protection, traps heavy metals and other urban contaminants, and is also the breeding ground for the rare white stork in Spain. This is an example in Germany, in Hamburg. This is called the energy bunker, and it is an example of a local energy plant that heats water and provides electricity to multifamily housing that you can see here using a district heating system and a 500,000 gallon tank to store hot water. This is an energy park on a closed landfill, and this is a municipally owned energy system rather than part of a national infrastructure, and it provides electricity to about 3,000 local homes. You can see in this example that energy use in American multi-family buildings is about 3 times higher than in the counterpart in Stockholm. High-performance buildings in Stockholm have even better performance. It's key that municipal and county governments, as well as state and national governments, work together toward developing sustainable development programs, and also using private and public partnerships in order to sustain those development projects, as we rarely do in the US. In conclusion, there are a host of different programs that are used in Europe to address climate change and also the many other challenges of our contemporary life. And if you would like to see a full presentation of the full list of measures, I'm doing a lecture on March 21st in the University Auditorium. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That was great. We're looking forward to having another deeper dive into that in your upcoming works. And here we go. I have a certificate and a plaque for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.